All right. Hey, everyone. So I wanted to jump on before we started the interview with Logan Anderson and Jordan Sill tonight to say thank you for 1,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. I wasn't expecting it. It's very, very humbling. And I really look forward to bringing you guys more interviews and more content as I find the time. This isn't a full time thing for me. So please bear with me. I know sometimes the schedule is pretty crazy in terms of getting stuff out there, but I'm doing my best. So again, thank you very much. Also, I did forget in the video to mention that the sponsor for this match, which is going to be a best of 5 left-handed match, is Pomp's Tire and Auto Service. Now, it's only because of sponsors like this that these matches are possible in the first place. So please, if you have any tire needs whatsoever, this winter, it's a good time to be putting some winter tires on there. Please contact Pomps for all your tire and auto service needs. Thank you again, guys, and let's go ahead and get into this interview. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us again tonight as we continue on the 2026 Montana Arm Bender series. On with me tonight is Logan Anderson, and he's going to be facing Jordan Sill on the left hand. Unfortunately, Jordan wasn't able to join us tonight due to work and personal reasons, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and steam along. I was able to ask him some questions and he answered them. So first of all, Logan, how about you let everyone know where you're pulling out of, how long you've been pulling, and then what this match means to you?
So I'm pulling out of Great Falls, Montana. Been pulling about 5 years. I started the year after COVID. It's 21. And yeah, just give it my best here when it happens. I guess it's gonna be a big match for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this is definitely probably the like you faced a lot of people who are no slouches, that's for sure.
hmm
But in terms of like how high profile the opponent is, like this would probably take the cake for you. You did recently just have a match with Chuck Young, who's again been around for a long time, just like Jordan Sill, and he's been on a tear. He's always been at the top of the rankings, and he's kind of like a gatekeeper for everybody. You kind of have to get through him to prove that you're ready for that level. And in your guys' match recently that you had up there in Great Falls, you did end up getting the win. Was that a
Wasn't
big
pretty
confidence
though.
booster for you?
Not really. Actually, I didn't pull near as good as I wanted to that day. Actually showed told me how shitty I actually am, really, and I need to make some adjustments, really.
Yeah, I mean, definitely appreciate that mindset because I mean, we never really pool as well as we hope so. How we imagine the match going in our mind is rarely ever how things turn out, though. You can only go where your strength allows you to go, but like you said, it does teach you a lot in terms of where you need to work. And do you kind of feel like that match with Chuck, though, did teach you exactly kind of what strengths you were missing and where you needed to focus your efforts going forward?
Yeah, it really did. I kind of taught me how to pull on the ref grip a little bit better. I'm gonna have to learn how to do that because I sure didn't that day. I think I gave him everything.
Yeah, that was one thing I mentioned leading up to the match is that the hardest part and one of the best things as a learning experience for this match for you specifically would be just how hard Chuck is to set up against.
Oh my god. It's terrible.
Jordan is no slouch either. His hand is much, much stronger than Chuck's, but he's not quite as intense as Chuck. So I think that was definitely a warm up, if you might want to say, for that. I do think, though, that given where you want to pool and how Jordan typically pools, you guys are probably going to end up, holding each other in a way that, gripping each other in a way that isn't terrible for either of you. I think you're both going to end up giving each other a little bit of what they want in order for you both to be comfortable. So I think that will kind of, I won't say it's going to be a positive thing, but I think you guys will both be neutral in the grip. But speaking of Jordan, I did ask him a couple questions, and I would definitely want to get your take on how he answered them. So the first question I asked him was coming into this left-handed match with Logan. What are your general thoughts on Logan and how much do you know? And Jordan responded that Logan is incredibly strong and looking to earn his spot. Coming off his injury, he looks strong and hungry. It's going to be fun. So I definitely think he's respecting your strength, which is necessary for anybody. I think, you know, if the Chuck match proved anything, it's that you're not lacking in power. Like you absorbed his hits, and you were able to pull back over to the A side, which is hard for anybody to do. Starting over in a deficit like that, and you probably like if you count all the starts, you probably did it like 7 times. So
Yeah,
how do
I
you
don't
feel about that
we shouldn't
question
have pulled
response?
those last 3 matches, really. I don't know what I
Yeah.
was thinking that day. I was having too much fun, I guess, but that was a fun match, I'm not gonna lie, but it did teach me
Mm.
some stuff that day that I'm gonna utilize in this arm bender, definitely.
For sure, for sure. And then I also asked him. He most recently competed at the 220-pound weight class in Idaho. Well, this weekend he ended up competing again at the Chris Kringle pool. But this I asked these questions before that, and so I asked him if he was planning on coming in around that weight or his normal size, especially considering that you are a true super heavyweight. And Jordan did give an answer to that, and he said that he normally walks around 230 to 235. So he's planning on showing up around that weight, but realistically, he's not really going to be focusing on weight, and just whatever he weighs, naturally is what he's going to step on stage at. So do you think that, you know, given the fact that this was uncapped and that his other opponent, his right-handed opponent Clifton, was open to it being an open weight pool. Do you think it was a mistake for him to not want to come in heavier, considering that you are a true super heavyweight and you have super heavyweight power?
I don't think it was a mistake because the guy does have a super strong hand and wrist. The guy is what, top five left-handed in his weight class. I'm definitely gonna have some trouble with this guy if I don't put something together. But I think it's gonna be a good match, really. I think it's gonna take everything I got, really. If I came in at his weight, I don't think I'd even have a chance against him. Honestly, I think that's how good he is.
I don't even know if I can imagine you around 235. I don't think that would suit your build very much.
Believe it or not, I graduated 195 pounds.
Oh, really? Dang. Yeah. So, and how old are you, Logan?
34.
34. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, we're pretty close in age. So yeah, it definitely post for me it was around 31, 32 where my metabolism like around 28 it slowed down a little bit and I can kind of put on weight. But then around 31, 32, it's just like if I don't watch what I eat, I'll just keep gaining. Like and there's just no stopping it anymore. So
That's where I'm at
definitely
too.
plays
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
It's tough to keep it off,
um
man. It really is.
it can definitely be a struggle, especially but luckily arm wrestling's not a bodybuilding competition, and so realistically, we don't have to pay too much attention to our diets, So I'm all about the what I call the power pooch, my belly. So I'm glad to have that back personally. I did ask Jordan if he had a chance to see you and Chuck's match though, and he said he didn't get a chance to watch the match yet. So I don't know if he's planning on watching that going in, or I know that Jordan's kind of style of arm wrestling is a very, I'm not going to say like nonchalant, but he's kind of a believer in you can only control what you do as a puller. So he doesn't, I don't think he necessarily thinks that, research and all that is super important because he's going to go in and try his strongest move and then just to make adjustments from there, just like, you're going to go in there and, try to blast him with your strongest move and then see how
Mhm.
that feels. So I definitely think, stylistically, you guys kind of match up in that way very well, mindset wise. Let's see. I did ask him too, because I think one thing that is very significant, especially when it comes to the arm bender, is the rule set. The rule set at the arm bender is different than most other places, as you know. It's not the same as like if you walk up to a tournament or most other super matches. It's designed to be more action oriented and to keep, the kind of the pressure levels high on everybody. And typically, in my mindset, what I see about this really rewards people who put a lot of effort and emphasis and their hand strength and hand control. And again, Jordan still is known as a person where it's just like, his hand is probably gonna, be the dominant one. But what we know here in Montana, and you haven't got a chance to get out there as much yet, but your hand is pretty unchallenged here in Montana. There's certain aspects obviously you have to work on, but in terms of your hand itself and its strength, it's no one's gonna crush your hand in a setup. So do you feel pretty comfortable there yourself, considering Jordan's reputation?
Yeah, I mean, I first round's gonna tell everything, but I think I'll be able to set up all right if we can just get up, grab a grip. If I can get where I want, I'm not gonna be too worried about it. But after they say go that first time, it'll answer a lot of questions for me, really.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that's one thing too. I wanted your opinion on like, do you prefer the rule set at the arm bender where it's more action oriented, a little faster paced? The refs have more kind of decision making power in order to what really matters or not, and whether to keep the match going, or do you kind of prefer the more structured rule sets of like tournaments?
I haven't really pulled a ton of tournaments. I think the third tournament I pulled when I broke my arm and I kind of
Mhm.
got out of it for a while. But I like the arm bender rule set, but I just haven't pulled enough tournaments really. I guess I don't know which one I really like better yet, but I just haven't pulled enough
Mhm.
matches really. I like the arm bender rule set, yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
Mhm.
Like I always tell people, if it was up to me, the way arm wrestling would work is you would stand at the edge of the table. The refs would tell the arm wrestlers to approach the table, elbows down, close your hands together, close your thumbs, close your hands, go. Like there's just doesn't need to be anything else, you know? For me, especially the fan, not necessarily the arm wrestler itself in me, but that the fan of arm wrestling, it just loves to see those fast-paced matches starting. And sometimes, like when it takes like 5, 6, 7, sometimes 10 minutes to start a match, it can really start killing the steam. And then as an athlete too, it kind of like, if you're like one of those high energy athletes like Chuck who likes to really like be intense and yell and scream and get in there, it really wears you out quickly. And if you're kind
Yeah.
of one of those little bit more mellow kind of pullers like you or myself, where we can find our energy levels kind of like dwindling and it kind of gets hard to get that adrenaline back
Mhm.
up where it needs to be. So yeah, I definitely really prefer the arm bender rules myself. One thing I'm really loving, and I don't know if you know about this, but I'm really loving that the arm bender's doing this here. It might not be for every match. It might just be the final two matches, but um they're introducing challenge flags. And I believe that each puller will get 3 flags to be able to throw up if their corner thinks there's like a foul that didn't get called or they can challenge a call. Have you heard about that or what do you think?
Yeah, I think didn't they do that last year if I'm not mistaken, or do you remember? Didn't they have that this it was just last match though, wasn't it? Or,
Yeah.
yeah, so I haven't really heard too much this year. I haven't really been paying attention either, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I think in the super match format, if you are a promoter out there and you're watching this, if you're having super matches, the challenge flags are a great addition. Now, where the setup
Absolutely.
bogs down the match in a way that viewers have trouble with and it takes down the action, I think challenge flags, even though they might extend the match, it adds to the pressure. It adds because, someone throws a foul just like in football, and you're waiting to see what the call is. You're waiting to see, oh, what
Mhm.
what was what was the foul? What was the call? What are they disputing? And I think it can be very strategic, in how it gets used, and it can lead to some pretty cool and pretty interesting outcomes. So,
Absolutely.
uh,
Yeah,
and one
definitely.
thing,
It'll definitely add be a nice feature for sure. I mean, you think that could be the whole outcome of a match right there, you know.
yeah, having a like it makes not just you competing, and what you've done important, but it also makes who you decide to be in your corner very important too, and how proficient they are at finding and seeing those things.
Mhm.
Because that can be really helpful because it's really I struggle immensely, and I sit down and I watch and analyze matches all the time, but when I'm the competitor in the match, I struggle so much with catching all those little things, and I don't always notice if my opponent elbow bobbles or fouls or, is doing sometimes I don't even notice if they're, covering my knuckle because 'cause I'm just so focused on, my hand and where it's at and whatever, so having someone that's in your corner that's able to throw that flag sounds really good to me.
I agree. That's a good idea, definitely.
And something I'm really curious about with you specifically is because it's a little bit of an unknown. Because I know again, you're building back up, you're building momentum from coming back fully into training. Are you doing training outside of table time, or is all your training focused at table time currently?
Yeah, I'm doing some training on my pulley system, and I've been training with Morgan and Josh quite a bit too. So hopefully that'll
Okay,
add to it. We got about what have we got 60 days or little over 60 days.
yeah, we're coming up. Yeah, just a little over 60 days now.
Yeah. So any little bit's gonna help now. And then I kind of got washed up in hunting season, so I didn't train as hard as I wanted to. But it's I'm
Yeah.
gonna hit it pretty hard the last home stretch here. So
But that's just the way it goes sometimes, life comes up and unfortunately we're not all blessed to be able to be full-time athletes. It would be great if we can get to that point and we can grow the armbanders to the extent that they can maybe start offering, contracts or there's other big sponsors that get in and can and allow more people to do it full time. But we can only do what we can do in the confines of our family life and our professional life. And at the end of the day, I know that you're a really hard worker and you're dedicated, and you should
thanks.
definitely, even though we can all think that we could do better, but I know that, you shouldn't feel bad or that you didn't do enough because I promise, like, just from what I know about you, that, you're doing what you can. So,
Yeah,
um, I'm really
appreciate
excited
that.
to
You can
see,
always do more though.
of course.
Always do more. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's a balancing act for sure. Now, outside of training, have you noticed like any big differences since coming back? Like the way you pull, the way you approach the sport? Have you just felt like training needs to go differently? Is there other considerations you're taking into account that you weren't necessarily before the injury? Or how has the injury impacted how you prepare or how you arm wrestle in general?
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't watching that match where I broke my arm, I think I tried to hold on too much. I really didn't know what I was doing back then, like I do now.
Mm.
And I'm not saying I really know what I'm doing now, but I know what I'm doing more than I did that day. So kind of the way I grip up, I don't hold on. I try to slip out a lot more. And I don't know if that contributed to me breaking my arm that day, but fine tune like just fine tuning stuff like that is what I've been working on really, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense, because a lot of being strategic, I was talking to Ryan Bussier here when we did a East versus West review where I really think that Gabby could have beat Barbora at East versus West. In both of not the third time they pulled, but the first two times, she pinned her twice and then gassed out. And I think for the same reason on the third round, she lost her hand position and she just tried to hold for so long in a really bad position. And luckily, no injuries occurred that day with her, but I really think that had she had someone in her corner, or if she just kind of had the mindset, that it's okay to let this, like, I flash pinned Barbora the first two rounds, I can let this one go, get a better position, and just pull through the next one and not try to hold on. I think that can really make, because some people are tractors and they just go through, and other people are sports cars and then they just blast. And so if you need to realize, if you're a tractor, you might need a few seconds to get going, so learning those subtle little differences, and where to hold on, and where to let go, and especially like where I'm feeling in my current game is like how to get to the strap and how to consistently get to the strap. All those subtle little things actually make a lot bigger difference sometimes than even training, because I think one thing that you've probably noticed getting, because the arm benders attracted a lot of really big names, so you've got to grip up with like RVJ and Sandris
Mhm.
and some of these other really big names. And while these guys are amazing and great, and Todd Hutchings and all, like the actual physical strength gap isn't as big as what you think it is. It's all those little things that they do to get, a little bit of a centimeter here or a little bit of a centimeter there, or, like those arm wrestling specific strengths, they might just have 5 more pounds of rise than you, but that's all it takes to make you look like a little child.
Yeah,
So it's
it is.
definitely humbling, but it's also cool to know that there's so much skill involved and it's not all about the gym work.
I want to get to the point someday I can grip up with somebody. You can read their hand like reading a book, just like those guys do, which I
Yeah.
can't. They can feel everything, go here, go there, and I can't feel that yet. But you can kind of feel where to go. But those guys, they can just take you wherever they want. It's the skill levels that much different.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of that, have you watched, Jordan's recent matches and stuff this year, and kind of have a pretty good idea of what kind of style he's going to be coming at you with?
Watched a little bit. I
And in
watched him and
term
Miles match a few times, and then I
Yeah.
didn't watch any of the other recent ones really. I don't know. Has he pulled left-handed much since then? Or
Yeah, it's in the same Idaho tournament, a little bit more, but I think the Miles match is probably one of the more relevant ones for
Mhm.
you, just again because I know Miles has that crazy hand, but his I think his hand is a little bit bigger than yours, but not much. But so I think you could probably learn a lot from watching how they grip up,
Mhm.
or take more from that match specifically, just because the hand size is going to be more similar, because most people don't have the mitts that you and Miles have. So I think that was a smart match to definitely study and take a lot
Yep.
from, especially because even though Miles is sets a little bit more upright than you do, where you want to go and where your primary hit is coming from is kind of the same area. So again, I think that was a good match for you to watch, and you could probably
Mhm.
learn a lot seeing how
Yeah,
he
that was a
does.
hell of a good match. That was a grinder. Miles really impressed me on that one. He did. That guy impresses me still. How far he's come in a short
Oh
amount of
yeah.
time is unbelievable.
It's absolutely insane. Yeah, I have an interview with Miles and Nathan coming up, and I have a lot of opinions on that match, especially with how good Miles is coming up right now. So I can't wait to have them side by side and talking to them
Yeah,
about
that's
that. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm no nothing.
And I was going to say too. Now I don't know if you've seen the whole card. I know Josh recently posted the card in in the chat that we have going. But is there like a matchup that you're hoping or looking forward to the most, or is there a matchup that's not on there that you're hoping would have been?
Trying to think here. I am looking forward to that Miles and Nathan match. I think that's going to be really good, and I am looking forward to the Adam and Sanders match. Then Clifton and Jordan's match too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Clifton is definitely a local favorite of ours. We have, we've all pulled him so many times, and he helps us, and yeah, we love having Clifton down here, and his matches are always going to be super exciting for us to watch. Definitely a mentor and a role model for me to that I look up to. So really excited for
Absolutely.
that one as well. And then I've also been asking people about the Montana rankings. So I thought it was a really cool thing that Josh did earlier this year, making that ranking system, and, it kind of motivated people and people are more active and pulling now. Is there a rank match here in Montana that you're really looking forward to? I know you have some people coming up there next or this upcoming weekend, but is there something on the rankings that you see that you're really excited to see? Or do you have a dark horse who you think is ranked really low that might make some big moves in the coming year?
Are you talking about like so ranked matches for me or the ones that I'm going to be watching? You mean?
Just on the Montana rankings in general.
I mean, there's a lot of good ones this weekend. I'm trying to think who's pulling. I am looking forward to seeing Chuck and Leaf pull again. I think
Yeah.
left-handed. I think that'll
Yeah.
be a good one.
Leaf is looking like absolutely monstrous right now.
He's
And
a giant.
that left-handed match between you and him is going to be really good whenever that comes up.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, he's definitely looking really monstrous. Um,
Yeah.
is
Honestly,
there
I don't
anyone
know
on
if
the rankings that you're really excited to pull?
so far I'm gonna get this match over with and kind of see what happens from there. But I'll whoever wants to do it, I guess let's go. I might be
Have you had a
inflated a little
chance to
high on
pull
that,
with
really.
I don't know about that. I think stylistically and just given just the size of your hand and stuff that you give a lot of people trouble because I think one thing that Montana struggles with in terms of the rankings right now is that we're very bottom heavy in terms of the weight classes. There's not that many guys in that, the heavyweights or the super heavyweights. We do have some new guys coming up now, which is great to see. But there's not a lot of guys for you guys to pull. Like you kind of have to, go way out of your way to pull someone different. And that's why I'm
Mhm.
wondering, have you had a chance to pull with Dustin Finley yet?
So I pulled him in Valier right-handed. We had a super match, best of three this summer. I don't
Oh,
know if you
that's
remember
right.
that
Yeah.
one.
How did that match go?
I beat him the first round, and then he beat me. I gassed out after the first round, then he got me the last two.
Yeah, were you trying to top roll through his press?
Pretty much, yeah. And I was able to get him. I pronated enough to hold him out of it, and I somehow took the advantage, and I was able to pull him over to the. I never lost my pronation that round. Put it that way. That's what kept me in the match.
Hmm. I was gonna say, I feel like on that list, Dustin is probably like your scariest stylistic matchup for sure.
Hmm.
That press is kind of deadly for you. I know that seeing that, or I won't say I know, but I hope that also kind of motivates you to train the hook because I think that you could be a pretty monstrous hook puller too if you really wanted to go there. So definitely hoping to see that come out of the bag one of these days.
Yeah, I need to train my right a little harder than I've been doing. I just haven't been training like I should compared to my left. My right's probably quarter less strong than my left. Really, it's not even on the same level.
No, I totally understand that. That's how it was before my left arm injury, but this injury gave my right arm some time to catch up, so I think they might be pretty comparable now. We'll see how that goes in the future. But yeah, no, before we sign out here today, do you have a message for your competitor? Anything you want to let him know before you get the match started? Or any messages that you want to give out to the viewers or anyone back home?
I want to first, well, thank all the sponsors that what if it wasn't for them, we couldn't have this event. And thanks to Josh for putting this on. He does a fantastic job with it. And I'm looking forward to it. And I think it'll be a fun match. I'm anxious for Jordan to come up and bowl. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this match. I'm hoping I get to make it there and see it live. It's a little bit of a tough date, unfortunately, but I'm doing what I can to make sure I can get up there. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I really wish you the best. I hope your training goes every bit as well as you want it to. And thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight, and we will catch you guys next time.